I'm Warren. This is Charlie. He can hear, I can see. We work together. I'd like to start it off with John Landis. And do we have a spotlight that we can pick out John? John is the man that directed, conceived, etc., of the Floyd Mayweather fight. And John, as you know, he directed Coming to America, Animal House, and the one I particularly like is Trading Places. If you haven't seen Trading Places, by all means get it. It has Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy and Charlie's favorite Jamie Lee Curtis. And it's a truly great movie. It brought back Ralph Bellamy and Don Ameche. Don Ameche had disappeared. Well, John, thank you. Thank you. He did all that, now came to the meeting. We really appreciate it. A few months ago, while she was already working on this meeting, I said to Carrie, I think it'd be kind of nice if we had a commemorative book, sort of a retrospective on the 50 years. And I said, would you mind turning out a book, in your spare time during these couple of months while you're putting together the meeting? And she put together what I think is an absolutely terrific book, which we have outside. We printed up, we thought we printed 15,000 copies, but I think they're not quite that many. We sold 5,000 yesterday and then held back copies. But it's really a nice history of Berkshire Hathaway, and the credit 100% goes to Carrie for putting that together. So I'd just like to thank her personally, and I hope you'll thank her. And we're missing one of our great directors, Don Keogh, my neighbor from over 55 years ago. He was a coffee salesman then for Butternut Coffee, for those of you around Omaha. He broadcast Nebraska football games, and around 1950 had a radio show on WOW for 15 minutes. He was followed by a fellow named Johnny Carson, who had another 15-minute program. And Don, when I would see him in later years, he'd always say, what happened to that Carson fellow? And Don died a few weeks ago, but we are very grateful that his wife, Mickey Keogh, has joined us together. So let's have a hand for Mickey Keogh. Mickey practically raised our kids, so if they have any faults, you talk to Mickey about it. We have just... We have one slide that relates to our quarterly earnings that we could put up. We released these yesterday afternoon, and nothing particularly remarkable. The railroad, BNSF, did dramatically better last year, not only in earnings, but in all kinds of performance measures. In terms of train velocity and on time and you name it, so that we got behind last year early in the year, and there's been lots of money and, more important, lots of effort spent to get the railroad operating like it should be. And in the first quarter, those efforts paid off. We gained share. Our earnings relative to other railroads improved dramatically. So, we've got the trains running. We're going to spend a lot of money making sure we get even better. But the improvement has been huge, and I want to thank Matt Rose and Carl Ice for really extraordinary performance in having our railroad running the way it should be running. So thanks, Matt and Carl. I didn't quite get it, but I'll assume it was complimentary. Okay, I think we're ready. We're ready to move on to our questioners. We'll handle it the same way as before. We start with the journalists, we move to the analysts, and then we move to the audience. And we keep doing that until about noon. And at that time, we take a break for about an hour. And then we come back and we repeat the procedure. After we get through, I think it's either 48 or 54 questions, then we just take them all from the audience. We we have various zones where people have been selected by drawing to ask questions personally. But we start off the first one with a woman who retired after 60 years, setting a longevity record for all of Time Inc. She retired at Fortune, been my friend for many years, and my opinion, the best print business journalist in the world, Carol Loomis. That doesn't soften her up at all, folks.